Hey Holy Yoga friends and followers, this month of April is Healthy Foot Awareness Month, and some of you probably didn't even know that. So I thought it'd be really fun to bring you a chair Holy Yoga class that concentrated on your feet. And so that is what I'm going to do today. My name is Christina Miraz, and I am the director of the Chair and Senior Holy Yoga program. And so to start with, you're going to need a sturdy chair, and you're going to bring your feet flat on the floor. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some things to warm up the feet. So we're going to start with curling the toes under and then taking the toes up and just beginning to move back and forth in this, curling under and up. So as you're watching me go through some of these foot movements, you're going to think, oh, I can't do that, like my feet just don't move like that. And that's okay. Just do what you can right now with the body that God has given to you today. And then from here, let's take and wiggle our toes like you were playing the piano. So trying to move one toe at a time down onto the floor. You'll find that the more that you do these things, the easier they become. So don't be discouraged at first if you don't see any individual movement happening with your feet. It will come. And then start to move from your big toe to the pinky toe. And this one's hard, friends. This one's really hard. So they might move in just a big chunk, and that's okay. And then from here, we're going to see if you can keep your big toe down onto the floor and lift your four little toes up and down. So a little engagement of the big toes, and then this release of the little toes. And if you can't do that, you are invited to press your big toes down. Get them to stay there. And then see if you can keep your four little toes down and lift just your big toe. So for some of you, this will be a lot easier to do. And others of you, equally as difficult. And then as you release the feet now, take and roll to the outer edge, let the knees splay out, and then come up. Just trying to warm up the ankles a little bit, warm up the hips. Good, and then from here, we'll start to walk our toes out and in. So you might be wondering, why is all this foot stuff really good for you? Well, for one, as we age, we lose a lot of mobility and dexterity in our feet. And the dexterity and movement of our feet is really important for fall prevention. And as we age, falls become more and more prevalent. So we want to try to keep our feet healthy so that it can feel the surface that we're on. From here, start to take one knee up and then the other knee. Estimates say that about 50% of people 60 and older have arthritis in their feet. And so the more that you can move your feet, the more you bring synovial fluid into the joints of your body, and that allows you to kind of combat some of the pain and discomfort of arthritis. From here, take and pull one knee in and just hold it there and start to circle your toes. We tend to kind of forget about our feet. They're the furthest thing from us, and we just don't pay attention to them a lot of times. Circle the other direction. And for some of you, and some of us, we have foot pain, and so we think about them constantly, and in that we tend to not move them a lot because we think that the movement is what causes pain, and sometimes that's true, but sometimes the movement is what heals the feet as well. Take and bring the other knee in and circle your toes. And circle the other direction. Good, release that down. From here, we're going to transition up to standing and work our feet standing as well. Okay, so with your chair at the front of your mat, what you're going to do is we're going to step the right foot in between the rungs of the chair. We're going to step the left foot back. Now your stance is going to be determined on how comfortable you feel. So you might be shorter, might be wider. Back foot, the toes are going to face out to the side. So you can hold onto the chair, and we're going to bend into the front knee and straighten it. So continuing to kind of warm up the hips a little bit here. And then from from here what we're going to do is you're going to bend your knee and you're going to lift your heel just slightly. So like the thickness of a credit card. You're going to keep your heel lifted and then straighten and bend. And you're going to feel the muscles of your feet and the muscles of your legs all of a sudden really engage here. Good, and now the next time that your knee is bent, keep it bent, let the heel settle down, reach the opposite arm back, so into warrior two. If you feel strong here and you want to take the front hand off the chair, you can do that as well, or you're very welcome to just keep the hand here. Good, next breath, let's take and move a little bit. So flow the arm overhead and then open back up. Good, and now as you reach forward, stay reaching forward, keep bending into that front knee. Good, as you come up here, take and bring both hands onto the back of the chair. Try to walk your feet back, toes will face forward. Let your head hang in between your arms. Begin to feel your head stretching forward and your hips stretching back. Good, and then start to walk your feet up. And then we're going to switch to the other side. I'm going to switch my chair so my back is not to you. And we're going to place the left foot in between the rung of the chair. Right foot's going to turn out to the side. Again, we'll start to bend and straighten that front knee. So the feet are the foundation of our body. They're what helps us to stand firm and what helps us to be strong. And so is the Word of God. Knowing the Word of God is the thing that creates us a firm foundation, that helps us to stand against trials, that helps us to face things that are difficult in our lives. Take and bend that knee now, lift the heel, the thickness of the credit card, and start to straighten and bend. So I love how there's such a connection to as we work our feet, we find our grounding. And as we continue to read into the Word of God, we find our grounding as well. We find out who we are. We find out more of who God is. And then we can stand firm in that. Let your heel come down here. Reach the opposite arm back. Good big breaths here. And let's start to flow, reaching forward and back. And now as you reach forward, take and hold it there. Good, and then coming upward. From here, we're going to transition back into our chair. And we're going to end with a stretch for our feet. So what you're going to do is you're going to shimmy over to one side of your chair. And you're going to step a leg back and you're going to point your toes back. So the top side of your foot, and I'll turn so that you can see what's happening with my foot. The top side of my foot is resting down towards the floor. So this is a great stretch for the top side of your foot. That side of the foot oftentimes gets tight because of wearing shoes that don't have a strap that fully attaches to your heel. So think about if you have slippers that don't have a back on them, or you wear flip-flops or sandals without a back on them. It requires the front side of the foot to have to be used a lot to keep that shoe actually on your foot. And so this stretch helps to lengthen out those muscles. Good, take one more breath. And then we're going to switch over to the other side, pointing the toes away, trying to stay tall in our posture. Good, just breathing. And then coming back to the center, sitting firmly on your chair, feet on the floor. Take and wiggle your feet a little bit here. Just letting the feet rest. Let's take a couple of big breaths together as a group. So inhale, drawing the arms up. Exhaling down. Let's take a big inhale, reach up, and this time let's reach down towards our feet. And then bring your hands onto your knees, press yourself up. And then one last breath together. Inhale, just reach it up. Exhale, just take your arms at your side. And rest here. Thanks for joining me. I hope your feet feel a little bit more alive, a little bit more awake, and I hope you come back and do this more and more to help strengthen your feet and create healthier feet, which means a healthier body.